So I think it's time. So hello and welcome back after lunch break. Hopefully you had a nice meal and feel now refreshed to head into the afternoon session. So my name is Jens Belay. I'm a co-organizer of this workshop and I'm with the University of Bonn. And it's my pleasure to be now the session chair for this session where we will have two talks. And the first talk will be given by Huijing Zhao, who is an associate professor in the Department of Machine Intelligence at the School of Electronics and Engineering and Computer Science at Peking University. She obtained her PhD at the University of Tokyo in 2004. And her current research covers many topics of autonomous driving, such as modeling and predicting driving behavior and semantic and dynamic mapping of outer environments. Her Intelligent Vehicles and Mobile Robotics Lab, which is called POS, regularly publish their work in renowned robotics and intelligent vehicle conferences and journals. Unfortunately, she could not attend in person here, so therefore we are playing now a video.
Hello, this is Huijing Zhao from Peking University. I would like to share our latest work on understanding the challenges with 3D semantic segmentation. This is class-imbalanced and OOD data. This work was led by my student Yan Pan. Semantic segmentation has been one of the main topics of our lab for years. Here is an outline of this research and the main publication. The leading students of these works are shown in these photos. Thanks for their contribution. They study new methods on image or 3D LiDAR-based approach and address the challenges at unstructured and dynamic themes. They did survey and analysis, and this red one is what I'm going to talk. They have also developed a new data set, semantic pose, at the campus of Peking University. Let's first look at this data set before I get into the main topic. The data was collected in the campus of PKU. The body blocks are distance data, such as cars, people, and riders. The data of each LiDAR frame is labeled as pixel level. The sequence of LiDAR can be aligned to a global coordinate system according to the vehicle's pose. The trajectories on the road are dynamic objects of the scene. It can be found that the scene is very complex and dynamic. Given a 3D data point or a 3D LiDAR frame, the problem of semantic segmentation is to find a function F to project the input to a set of semantic labels. The problem has been studied as a key technique for a mobile agent to traverse a complex environment. In recent years, deep learning methods have been the focus of the studies in solving the problem. Deep learning methods are mostly data-driven. For 3D semantic segmentation tasks, the data handler problem is even severe, but it is not the focus of this talk. Class imbalance are among the other main challenges. For example, this plot shows data size of semantic KD and semantic pose data sets. Both data sets are very long tails, which reflect the nature of the real world. That is, real world is class imbalance. OOD is another challenge. As new things, new objects could happen and needs to be handled by the online system. This is always called the open world problem. Furthermore, autonomous driving is safety critical. When deploying an AI system to such applications, it is even more important to know whether the agent is sure or unsure. For such a purpose, many metrics, we call them trust scores, have been developed, such as softmax confidence. By thresholding on these trust scores, the agent predicts whether it is correct or wrong, or whether the data is an ID or OOD. However, the trust scores could be untrustable. Facing such challenges, the questions are: how does the class-imbalanced program affect 3D SS model performance? Can 3D SS model be aware of its unsureness? Can it detect whether the category prediction is correct or wrong, or whether the input sample is an ID or OOD? Let's reframe the challenges and questions. Deep learning-based methods are data-driven. Real-world applications face class-imbalanced and OOD data, which means there are classes of sufficient, few, or no training samples. The questions are: how does the class-imbalanced program affect 3D SS model's performance? Can the model be aware of its unsureness? And furthermore, whether the category prediction is correct or wrong, whether the input sample is an ID or OOD. To seek answers to these questions, 2 experiments are conducted. Experiment 1 aims to answer the first question: how class-imbalanced programs affect model performance. This general workflow is used. 3 different models are selected: PostNet++, Cylinder 3D, and RunLA-Net. They are trained and tested on semantic datasets. Why these 3 models? PostNet++ is a traditional model that represents the classic. RunLA-Net and Cylinder 3D are reservoirs that represent the state-of-the-art, but of different kinds. Here are the results of experiment 1. The horizontal axis are semantic categories from big to small classes. They are road, planes, building, fence, car, trunk, hall, sun, bicycle, people, and rider. Model performance are shown in polylines: yellow for PostNet++, orange for RunLA-Net, and blue for Cylinder 3D. Different line types denote IOU, recall, and precision. It can be found that yellow lines have some correlation with data size. That is, the large classes like road, plane, and building demonstrate better performance than the small classes like bicycle, people, and riders. However, such correlation cannot be found in orange and blue lines. Interestingly, the small classes like people and riders shows very nice performance on these models. We cross-correlate the IOU of different models. Here, the horizontal and vertical axes are the IOU of Cylinder 3D and IOU of PostNet++. It can be found that these classes distribute broadly in 3 zones. In the right top zone, the classes are road, plane, and building, all big classes, and have nice IOU on both models. We name them simple. The right bottom zone are car, people, and riders, a mixture of big and small classes. They have nice IOU on Cylinder 3D but for IOU on Postnet++. We named this group simple with effort. The last zone, the left bottom zone, had poor performance on both models. We named them hard. It can be found that the performance is not only related with data size. The performance of some small classes can be improved like this, but some are very hard as this zone. If we study the computer matrix, something more interesting is found. Each value PRC of the computer matrix indicates the ratio of points whose ground truth labels are R but classified to state. The redder, the higher the value. Not surprisingly, the diagonal values are redder. However, values on some columns are redder too, such as days, days, days. The predicted classes are plain. That is, plain is a class easy to be confused. Many other classes are predicted to planes. Remember, in the previous results, planes had been demonstrating a very nice performance on IOU, precision, and recall, and on all three models. While traditional metrics fail to reflect this computing property. Let's see this value. For example, 0.40 means 40% of people's data are wrongly predicted to planes. This is a very high ratio of error. However, people is a small class. The total data number is small. Even 40% of the points occupy a small portion of the predicted set of planes. As planes is a very big class. To this end, a new metric with precision is developed to account for imbalanced class size. Here is a comparison of the traditional matrix precision on the right and the proposed matrix with precision on the left. The horizontal axis of both plots are IOU. It can be found that the computing property can be better evaluated by using weight precision. Furthermore, we studied this computing property as a feature space. The data of different categories are visualized in different colors or symbols. These red dots are planes. They distribute in a broad range. Therefore, we pick a number of data points to see what they are and found that they are planes of very different kinds. There are green dots that are mixed with the red one. Green dots are trunk. We pick one and found it is a forked trunk. The green dots distribute also broad. We pick a green dot from another cluster and found it is a straight trunk. There are also other examples. I will not detail them all. It reflects that there are intra-class diversity and inter-class ambiguity, who are the main reason of confusion. The classes are not only imbalanced on data size, but also their nature, who has been less studied in literature. Let me briefly talk about experiment 2. Experiment 2 aims to answer the second question. Can 3D SS model be aware of its assurance facing class imbalance and OOD data? Specifically, can the model be aware its class or wrong, ID or OOD. To this end, a trust score module is concatenated. Given a threshold delta, the trust score G of a data X is thresholded to find whether it is an ID or OOD, or the predicted category is correct or wrong. The popular trust scores are used like softmax confidence, uncertainty, ODIN, and D. Since there have been no real-world 3D datasets that address all the issues, two datasets, sub-KT and OKT, are developed for train and test. In this experiment, we designed that people and riders are OOD classes. The others are ID classes. For train, we extract the semantic breaks that have no people and rider data and compose a dataset sub-KT. For test, we developed a new dataset of KT by using semantic KT as the base break while augmenting the people and rider data from semantic pools. Here is the flow of data augmentation. I will not explain how it is processed. If you are interested, please find the details in the paper. In this experiment, 3 tasks are defined, discriminating whether the data is ID or OOD, whether the predicted semantic class is correct or wrong without OOD and with OOD. The performance is evaluated using the most popular metrics, IROS, SPR, and PPR. In fact, IROS is the area under the RSJ curve that is composed by false positive ratio, SPR, and true positive ratio, PPR. Let's see the result of false positive ratio. Surprisingly, the large classes like car and road have very high false positive rate, whereas the false positive rate of building, things, and bicycle are low. This is very different with what we expected. To find the reason, we propose a new visual analysis method named TSD, Trust Score Distribution. Recall the computer matrix that we discussed in experiment 1. Each column corresponds to a predictive label. Each value PRC indicates the ratio of points whose ground truth labels are R but predicted to class A. Now let's extend each column vector to a matrix by introducing a variable delta. Each value Q of the matrix indicates the ratio of the points whose ground truth labels are R but predicted to class A with a trust score at the interval from delta I to delta I plus 1. This matrix describes trust score distribution and can be visualized like this, called TSD chart. The TSD chart can be divided into 3 zones. The top band shows the trust score distribution of the predictive class, that is the true positive. The lower 2 bands are the OOD, and the middle are the false positive of ID classes. Let's examine the TSD charts of the predictive classes. The more true positive distributes are high trust scores, the better awareness of the model on its uncertainty. The more OOD or false positive distributes are low trust scores, the better awareness of the model on its assuredness. We can see that the TSDs of road and sign are almost perfect, while planes, fence, and bikes are unsatisfactory. Then why road and car have very high false positive ratio, but fence and bikes are low? Let's review the definition of PPR and SPR. Given a threshold delta, the TSD chart is divided into 4 zones, who corresponds to TP, FN on the upper bounds, FP, and TN on the lower. Some classes like car and road have very small FP and PM, and even a small FP could yield a high FP ratio. It means if classes are highly imbalanced, the AOR state developed on FPR may not sufficiently evaluate the performance. To this end, we combine AOR state with procedure who addresses the class imbalance issue and achieve analysis that are more consistent with other results. And we conclude, this work conducted experimental studies to understand the challenges of each 3D SS model using class imbalanced and OOD data. 2 experiments are conducted, and new data set, new evaluation metrics, and new video analysis methods are developed. And we found that classes are not imbalanced only on data side. Interclass diversity and interclass ambiguity need to be faced to improve the true trustfulness of 3D assets, where semantic gap and data gap need to be studied at real-world scales. Thank you very much. For more information, please read the paper or visit our website. Thank you.